In today's video, we are here to share a little bit of love to fragrances that don't get a lot of love here on YouTube. So if you're interested in hearing about some underrated fragrances in my collection, then just keep watching. Before we get into the video, I do want to quickly introduce myself for those of you who may be new here. My name is Aisha. I make videos about fragrance, beauty, luxury, and lifestyle. If those are things you're interested in, please consider subscribing. And if you are a returning subscriber, hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. So as I said, the fragrances that we're going to talk about today are ones that I don't hear talked about a lot, or if I do hear them talked about, it's negative. So I like to do these videos every now and again just to give a little shine to fragrances that I don't think get a lot of shine. Now in this video, you'll hear me say, I haven't heard anybody talk about it. Y'all, when I say that, take that with a grain of salt, because almost every fragrance has been talked about at some point. I may not have seen the video you saw. I may have just forgotten. So please take that with a grain of salt. I just mean that these fragrances are not talked about a lot, okay? Not meaning nobody ever in life has ever talked about them, okay? Now that we got that out of the way, let's go ahead and get into the fragrances. So in today's video, I have 5 fragrances, and it's really just because I like to keep these videos pretty small. I do have some other fragrances in my collection that I felt like I could have added into this video, but don't worry, I do these videos every so often, so you probably will see those later. So first fragrance we have today is from Wilhelm Perfumery, and this is the Oud Affair. So this fragrance is gorgeous. It's a newer fragrance to my collection, and I have to be honest, I've only worn it twice, but those 2 times that I wore it, it really impressed me. And this is one that I have not heard a lot about. And I feel like when I actually purchased this fragrance, right before I purchased it, I went searching on YouTube for videos talking about this fragrance because I wanted to see what people were thinking. This was a blind buy for me. I think I came across it on either Saks or Neiman Marcus. I think it was Saks. Anyway, that doesn't matter. I had a 20% off coupon. I came across it. It sounded like something that I would thoroughly enjoy, but I didn't really find many videos talking about it. So I didn't know how it was gonna work for me. But I have to say, y'all, I love it. So this fragrance is very deep and dark and smoky. The name is called Oud Affair, and I do believe that I could smell oud in this fragrance, but the oud doesn't smell barnyardy, it doesn't smell skanky, but it is present. It smells like a very smooth oud. In addition to that, I feel like there is tobacco in this fragrance. If I remember correctly, I don't think tobacco is listed as a note, but to me, it smells like there is a fresh tobacco in this fragrance. And along with that fresh tobacco, like that kind of green tobacco scent, I also feel like I get a little bit of smokiness too. But this fragrance is not overly smoky. There is a little bit of sweetness in here that I'm not really sure where that's coming from, but it's just a tiny bit of sweetness. It kind of puts you in the mind of a sweet tobacco. And then of course, you also have spices in this fragrance. So this fragrance to me is winter appropriate. I actually wore this to a wedding. It was an evening wedding, and I felt like it was perfect. It was cold that day. This lasted the entire night, and y'all know how long weddings can be, right? I'm pretty sure we were there for about 7 hours, and probably at least 5 or 6 hours into that, I got a compliment in the bathroom on this fragrance, and I felt like it just fit perfectly. Now this is not going to be a fragrance that I'm going to wear all the time, because I do feel like this is more of an occasion fragrance, or if you live somewhere where it gets really cold, you can probably pull this off a lot more. But for me, it's never really that cold here, so for me this will probably be more of a formal occasion fragrance. When I say formal occasion, I don't mean that it has to be like suit and tie, even though this would definitely work for that, but something that's a little bit more elevated. This is absolutely gorgeous. Now I did look this up on Fragrantica, and I remember it was compared to Tobacco Vanille from Tom Ford, and I can kind of see where they're going with that, but Tobacco Vanille is definitely a lot sweeter than this fragrance, and to me Tobacco Vanille doesn't really have that greenness that I get from this fragrance. I wouldn't call this a green fragrance, but I definitely get some sort of fresh green note in it. This is absolutely stunning, perfectly unisex. If you like deep, dark, heavy fragrances, this is one you definitely should get your nose on at the very least. That reminds me, I'm not 100% sure right offhand if Twisted Lily sells this fragrance, but if they do, I'm now a Twisted Lily affiliate. Yay for me, okay? So I will have my link down below, and I will also have my discount code down below that you guys can use to either pick up samples or full bottles. So definitely check out the description box. I always have links down there, and if I have a discount code, I always include them down there as well. So again, that is the Oud Affair from Wilhelm Perfumery. So we may as well stay on the oud train. This next fragrance is another oud fragrance. This is none other than Oud for Happiness. Now I know I have talked about this fragrance before, and this fragrance I think has been out probably at least a year, maybe 2 years, but I really do not hear people talk about this, like hardly ever. But this fragrance is gorgeous. Not for everybody, okay? Let's just get that out of the way. This is not for everybody. But to me, on me, this smells amazing. So again, oud is in the name. So yes, you can smell the oud in this fragrance, but to me, this is a very smooth, silky oud. I always try to compare it to the oud in Oud for Greatness because so many people are familiar with how Oud for Greatness smells. Same company. The oud to me smells the same in that fragrance as it does in this fragrance. These are very different fragrances, but I'm just saying if you can handle the oud in Oud for Greatness, then you can handle the oud in Oud for Happiness. So other than oud, I also smell something quite green in this fragrance. It kind of smells like cedar or vetiver. It gives me a green feeling, but also some woodiness to that as well. And then for me, the star of this show is the ginger in this fragrance. The ginger is what makes me love this fragrance, and is why it makes me happy. Oud for Happiness, y'all. So you have to like ginger to like this fragrance. The ginger in this is quite sharp initially. So this is a fragrance that I didn't love at first spray. I have to be honest. I smelled this in store before I purchased it. I did not purchase it in a store. I smelled it in a store one time, but I was smelling a lot of stuff. And I'm not gonna lie, when I first smelled this in store, to me, it smelled like weed. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say this on YouTube, but it smelled like Mary Jane. That's the first smell I got when I smelled this in store on paper. When I first got this fragrance, I don't even know why I ordered this. This was not a safe buy for me, but I wanted to try it again. I came across it for a good price, ordered it, and sprayed it on, and I was kind of like, ooh, this is pretty masculine. But 5 minutes in, the magic happened, y'all. The ginger came to the forefront, and like I said, it starts out really sharp, but then it kind of mellows, and everything really just blends together on this fragrance, and it is a joy to wear. This is one that I do not wear unless I want people to talk to me because this will definitely get people's attention and compliments at that. I've never had a rude comment off this fragrance, but I mean, I'm not sure if everybody loves it. It's just that nobody's told me anything rude off of it. But I have gotten compliments off this fragrance from men, which you would kind of be surprised because when you look at reviews of this, everybody says it leans masculine, but men compliment me wearing it. And yeah, this is one you should definitely try for yourself. Now, this is a strong, heavy-hitting fragrance, but because of that greenness and freshness of it, I actually feel like you can wear this year-round. I wouldn't go ham on the sprays because, like I said, it is a beast, okay? Do not go ham on the sprays. You probably will not like it. You'll probably choke yourself and others out, but spray this moderately or lightly and come back later and tell me what you think about it. So if you see this in store, matter of fact, plan your visit to your local Neiman Marcus or wherever sells Initio near you, okay? Plan your visit, don't wear any fragrance, go to their perfume counter, spray yourself. Walk around, see what you think about it. Don't just smell on the paper. You have to try this on skin. And I personally, I know I've been talking a lot about this fragrance, but I just wanted to mention, I am personally not a person who likes to spray fragrances on my hand and then walk around and sniff them. I often find that when I do that, I either grow anosmic to it really quickly or it bothers me because it's too much. It's like, like it's too much. That's not really how you wear fragrance. So I know that not everybody likes to purchase samples. I don't either. But honestly, spraying your full body is going to give you a better picture of a fragrance as opposed to just spraying your hand or your arm and continuously smelling it through the day. Just wanted to give you that little tidbit. But anyway, this is Oud for Happiness by Initio. This next fragrance is from Canto or Quinta Canto, and this is called Mirabil. So this fragrance reminds me of Canto, the movie. If you haven't seen that, you should, especially if you have children. But even if you don't, like, it's a really good Disney movie. Anyway, it reminds me of that movie because the name of this is Mirabil, and the main character in Encanto is Mirabil. I know they're different, but y'all, Encanto I've watched so many times because of my children, so forgive me. Anyway, this fragrance is gorgeous and not kid-like at all. So this is a beautiful vanilla fragrance, but it's so much more than that. I hate to kind of even call this a vanilla fragrance because it's so interesting. This is one that when I first smelled it, I didn't know what to think. There were so many things going on in this fragrance, but they all come together so well. So like I said, vanilla, I definitely do smell, and it is a sweet vanilla, but because it's combined with these other notes, I don't think this fragrance smells juvenile or smells too foody or anything like that. So like I said, vanilla, but then you also have some green notes in this fragrance that I'm really not sure where they're coming from. Also citruses. Immediately you get that citrus. To me, it smells like lime. I'm not sure if that's what's in here, but to me, it definitely smells like lime. And then I also get this minty vibe from this fragrance as well. I'm not sure if mint is a note, but this definitely gives me a little bit of a minty vibe. And when all these notes are combined, it just smells amazing. Not very helpful, I know, but it smells amazing. I'm trying to think, when I looked this up on Fragrantica, I think somebody compared it to Junior Mints. Hopefully that's right, but I can kind of get what they're saying because it's like a sweet mint, and the mint to me is not overpowering. It doesn't take over the scent, but it's just another nuance of this fragrance, and this is just absolutely stunning, y'all. I have heard a couple people mention this fragrance. The person that I really remember mentioning it is Lulu, so I will link her channel down below. If you guys are not following her, go check her out. She's kind of like no nonsense, just loves fragrance, and I love that about her. But anyway, I know I heard her mention this, and I probably have heard somebody else mention this before as well, but this is one that doesn't get talked about enough, and one that you should definitely try if you get the opportunity. It is gorgeous. It's so unique. If you love vanillas, but you want something different, check this one out. Because of the brightness in this fragrance, I actually think this can be worn year round quite easily. So again, that is Mirabil by Quinta Canto. This next fragrance is one that I feel like was talked about quite a bit when I first started watching fragrance videos on YouTube. So this was before fragrance really blew up on YouTube. It was right before I started making videos, or maybe it was right when I started making fragrance videos. I'm not sure. But anyway, it was right before fragrance became like a big topic here on YouTube. And I remember hearing about this fragrance from some men. I used to watch a lot more men back then because there were not a lot of women doing it. But also Eva Monroe is probably the person that convinced me that I needed this fragrance, because I felt like at that time our tastes were quite similar. So this fragrance is an oldie, but nobody really talks about it anymore, and y'all should, okay? This is Killian Back to Black. So this is a classic fragrance, and like I said, it was talked about a lot back then, but not really anymore, and it's time to bring it back, y'all, because all these new fragrances coming out, a lot of them are just disappointing, not very original. I'm not saying all of them, but just because something's new doesn't mean that it's better, okay? This fragrance has been around, has stood the test of time, and it deserves some more hype again, okay? Anyway, this is a tobacco honey fragrance. To me, it also smells like there is a bit of a cherry vibe in this, but it's not a cherry fragrance, I wouldn't say. But it smells like there is like, maybe it's like a cherry tobacco or something, who knows? Anyway, it also has a lot of powderiness to it. So I would say this fragrance is definitely not for everybody, because I do feel like this is powdery in the way that Fève Délicieuse is powdery. Some people can't take Fève Délicieuse by Dior because they say it's too powdery, it makes them nauseous. That's not the case for me, but if that is the case for you, this is one that you probably want to slow your roll on, maybe try to test it out, because this one kind of has that same level of powderiness. But anyway, this fragrance is just sweet and beautiful, y'all. The honey in here, to me, is probably the biggest star of the show, and the honey feels very thick. Very thick, dripping honey. And then you have this beautiful tobacco that balances it out. And there's also this depth to this fragrance that to me makes it sexy. It makes it it's so good, y'all. It's so good. This is one of my favorite fragrances from Killian, so I figured it was time to give it some love here on my channel, and definitely one that I think you should check out. I know a lot of people say that Killian fragrances don't last on them, but I will say this one is one that I think, or at least on me, it lasts forever. It projects, it's good, y'all. So again, that is Back to Black by Killian. The last fragrance that I have is from Frank Boclet, and this is Sugar. So this is a fragrance that hasn't been in my collection too long. I remember hearing about it. I don't know how, maybe like on Fragrantica or something like that, who knows. But I remember hearing about it. It was kind of always in the back of my head that I wanted to try it, but nobody ever really talked about it. And then I think I saw one of the companies that I shop with started carrying this brand. So that reignited my curiosity about it. So I went on a YouTube hunt to try to find reviews. Couldn't really find many. I think I found a couple and they were old, but I went ahead, took a chance and purchased it anyway, and I have no regrets. So to me, I know the name is called Sugar, but I don't really think this fragrance is extremely sweet. It smells like marshmallow, but the marshmallow in this is sweet, but it's not extremely sweet. So if you can think of Love Don't Be Shy, it's not that sweet like that marshmallow in that fragrance. This one is very tame compared to that as far as sweetness goes. But anyway, the marshmallow is definitely there. It smells like a fluffy, thick, gooey marshmallow. And then I also feel like you can smell that powdery aspect to it as well. This is not a powdery fragrance, but like the powder on a marshmallow, I feel like you can definitely detect that in this fragrance. Mixed in with the marshmallow is something a little bit like green and fresh. I wouldn't call this a green fragrance, but there's something a little bit green mixed in with the marshmallow that gives it a very nice juxtaposition. And then it also kind of smells a little bit soapy. Now I know that sounds weird, a soapy marshmallow, who wants that? But it works in this fragrance, and I don't know why. I don't know why these things work together in this fragrance, to be completely honest, because when I describe them, they shouldn't work, but they work so well. This is a very unique marshmallow scent. So I think that if you are a gourmand lover, but you're looking for something that is unique, something not so food-like, definitely check this one out. It's a good one. It lasts all day. It's not super heavy, but it does project. And I think this is actually great for year-round use because, again, although this is a marshmallow scent, that greenness breaks it up. And to me, that makes it year-round appropriate, even in hot weather, as long as you don't spray too much. So again, that is Frank Boclet Sugar. So those were the 5 fragrances that I wanted to share with you all today. Let me know in the comments below if you own any of these fragrances. Are you interested in any of them? Is this your first time hearing about any of them? Let me know that down below as well. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I typically upload videos every Sunday, Wednesday, and Friday, so I have tons of content that you can check out in your free time. Also, if you want to connect with me more, go ahead and follow my new blog. It is www.simplyaisha.com. Check it out and get on the email list for that. Also, to further connect, you can follow me over on Instagram. I'm typically in my stories almost every day, and I love to chat with you all through DMs on Instagram. I hope you all enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.